Good day, friends. My name is Greg. I am a channel for Source, and this is the second day of my experience. I want to talk to you guys about something that I am now at this moment in, and that is what is called like the dark night of the soul. In my experience, I've seen that the divine source light, God, whichever way you want to call the higher self, the higher mind, the higher consciousness. It's never what we think it is. It's never what we perceive to be like, okay, if I do this, then I'll get that. Most of the time, it's like something else. It's like the upside down, right? I've seen that through my trials and tribulations. The most important thing that I have to understand is that whoever it is, you have to understand. Let me say it like this, right? Let me explain it like this. If you are going through hard times, if you have expectations of people, expectations of a situation, and you see that what it is that you want you cannot get, it's because it's not for you, right? What we have to understand now in this lifetime, in this specific lifetime, in this specific time, the earth, is that we all need to make a choice. Most of the time, the choice is not clean cut because every choice has a loss in a certain sense. And it is that loss that you have to come to grips with, that you have to accept. Some people, when they choose one thing, they lose another. You choose one partner, you lose another partner. So, or you choose one job and you have to say no to the other job, right? In the case of a dark night of the soul, is the breaking down of everything that you think is important to you. And who is you at this moment? In this 3D reality, the you is the ego. The ego is the part of you that had to adapt to this specific density of reality to be able to move through it. So you understand the rules of this game, of this life, you know? You understand that if you act a certain way, you'll get a certain response. If you walk left, you can go right the same time. It's it's the choice that you have to make on an energetic level, on a spiritual level, and also on a physical level. Know that if you want to get through it, like I'm trying to get through it, this is like a diary that I'm starting, right? To talk about my own experiences. Let me say this: if you have heartbreak with family, You have to learn to accept the fact that even if they're intentional, if they're not awake, they don't know what they're doing because they're going for the instant gratification of this 3D reality. They don't understand that the higher consciousness doesn't work with these 3D laws, right? You have to forgive them because if you can't forgive them, you can't forgive yourself for not being awake at the time that they made those choices that had a effect on your life, positive or negative. Most of the time it's negative, right? And even if they think they made a choice that was positive for you because they were not awake, they could not see that those choices um, had another kind of cause and effect. I will be also talking about the hermetic laws a little bit. I'm also studying those, trying to bring them into real life situations. Raw, grimy, down to earth type of situations. Because when people talk the law of correspondence, the law of rhythm, right, the law of cause and effect, law of polarity, and all of that, what does it really mean? So I'm going on a small adventure to try to see how can I explain these things. But the first thing I want to bring it to, let me not get off track, is the dark night of the soul. That is the complete destruction of your old programming and old mindset. Everything that is in your life that is not serving your highest good, people, places, things, will have to be cut off and destroyed. Not destroyed in the physical, most of the time, but more or less destroyed in the place that it has in your mind. The degree of importance that you bring to certain things. The dark night of the soul sometimes demands of you to cut ties with your children, to cut ties with your mother, to cut ties with your father, your sister, your brother, your best friend, because if they are not awake, the energies that they harbor in their vessel are the entities that want to trigger the entities that reside in your vessel. Everybody is light and dark. Everybody has the capacity to do great things or destructive things. Harmony and disharmony, right? Order and chaos. Light and dark. Good and bad. Whatever you want to call the terminology. But the divine has proclaimed that we all know now in this time have to know to make a choice. The choice has to be voluntary, the choice has to be in earnest, and the choice has to be free of ego and full of acceptance and humbleness. Not because the divine wants you to do it, and if you don't do it, you won't find the bliss that is your birthright. The divine is not one to say, make a choice. You don't make the choice? Okay, then you're destroyed. No, it doesn't work like that. The energies that you choose for to be triggered by will put in place the timeline that brings you further off of your highest good. If you have different timelines, the choice for the order or the choice for the chaos is the nudging into the order that is the hardest because the choices for chaos are much greater, much larger more paths, better roads, more street lights, fenders beside the road, giving you lots of foods and drinks and delicious things to taste on, right? But you will never be satisfied because the ego only knows what is to protect you at the moment, at this moment, because the ego cannot. The soul, that is part of the higher consciousness, knows the way, but if you are not in contact, if you're not in alignment with your own soul, you will not be able to walk the narrow road. The yellow brick road is what they say. I want you guys to try to understand that the hardest part is the beginning. After that, it's smooth sailing. We have to know what it is that we can do to one, be in contact with nature because we are part of nature. We are not exempt of it. It is not, we are not a different entity than nature. So who are we to decide that we are higher than nature and that we are not the caretakers of this beautiful place that we call our reality? This is just one part, this is just one layer. And what we show here in this lower density is a reflection of what is shown in the higher density, in the higher realms. This is a lower realm, but it can become as the higher realm, but we must make a choice. We must understand that this harmony is not the same as harmony. It is a part of it. It has harmony in it, but the one is a little bit off. It will always be part of reality. But we can make the choice to say, you know what, I choose harmony instead of disharmony. And that means I have to sometimes give up what I think is best for me and do what is best for all. Because if we are one, then what is good for me will be good for all. But if I do not think about what is good for all and only what is good for me, you'll get the disharmony. It must be a balance. Must stay a balance. Guys, I thank you. I'll be back tomorrow. This is a small one. I'll be doing up some studying and coming back with some more information as I am guided to do. Namaste. Peace.